Hey guys, welcome back to another video with me, Slivers FX. Today we're gonna do Gothic 2 New Balance 5.0 and we're gonna start it off on Nightmare mode. We're gonna turn off no food and fatigue. We're only gonna have the included saves anywhere because it's already hard as it is, and we're gonna start a new game. Welcome aboard for everyone that has not played this mod before, and everyone that has and want to try out Nightmare. Well, this might be the right place for you to start. So I skipped the intro where Xardas talks, and we're gonna get right into the dialogue between Xardas and the nameless hero, and we're gonna skip all of it because you guys have probably seen it a million times already anyway. Get a few experience points for saying we're gonna run away, then you get the achievement for coward. And then you can go through all the dialogue unscathed and just make sure you get all of it so you don't have to do it later. Now in Nightmare mode you don't get any gold, you don't get any digger pants, and you don't get any help from Xardas apart from what you get in the tower itself. So why is this 5.0? Well, after 3.0 finished and they went to 4.0, the last chapter, which is chapter 7, got deleted, and they also removed the Guardians because they thought that it wasn't, well, Gothic-y. Here I am readjusting a little bit of the settings before we continue, a little brighter and a little wider. And I put the frame limit at unlimited, and I reduced the graphics a little bit, a tiny bit, so we don't have any troubles while playing. These books are now readable. They are not in a demonic language. They're like they used to be in the original Gothic, and you can just read them and get a few rhetoric points as it is. Grab the meat, grab the cheese, open the gate behind the pentagram. And now we're gonna get the chest and whatever else we need to loot in Xardas' tower. We're gonna go upstairs, grab the key and some loot as well. Make sure you also loot the bookshelves and also read the book stands once again. I think you get a total of 5 rhetoric points or so in this area, and a few more intelligence points just by getting all the books through, which is nice. Then we're gonna go even more or further upstairs. I don't think I grabbed the key here. Oh, I didn't grab the stamina potion. That's why I forgot. This is also recorded afterwards, though this is a voiceover. I'm not doing this as I'm playing, so I can explain things easier. Grabbing 2 of the healing potions right here, a Seraphis, and some other stuff and goodies. If you grab the key downstairs, you can also unlock this chest. We're gonna sleep until 5 in the morning, which is 4 hours from now, so we can perform the ritual that is outside this window. Now, I always save here first because sometimes, well, missteps happen, and I really like to just jump here and jump one more time and go to the left so you don't fall down off the tower. Then the next step is to go down the ladder, grab everything you see, including the notes, the dagger on the floor, and a special little trinket. You interact with the altar and then interact with the statue of Beliar in your inventory, and you get a little magical potion which gives you 2 HP and I believe 2 mana. It's not a really big start, but it's helpful, you know, and you get a few experience points. The problem with Nightmare is also that you only get 10 HP right at the very start, so for anyone that wants to do a deathless run, this is possible, but it is extremely hard. We have a person on our Discord called Beast Narrow. He has tried this attempt many times and has gotten very far. I don't remember what's the furthest he has gotten to. Maybe he can comment in this video and tell us himself. The dragons, I'm not sure. I've seen him with even 3000 HP before he died himself. Anyway, let's continue. We're gonna grab everything in Xardas' tower, including gold, a few notes, and some herbs. Make sure that you also grab this scroll of fire arrow behind these cases. And there's even an iron ore on top of them. Now, some of the stuff in the game, in the hard mode, in Nightmare especially, it has been moved around. So certain stuff will not be in the same place or have them been removed entirely. And then enemies have been added and or increased their potential to kill you. So for example, if there was a young wolf, there will now be a full-grown wolf. Not so much for goblins, because goblins, full-grown goblins in Nightmare attack 15% faster, and they're actually harder to avoid and potentially harder to kill. Here I'm trying to look for anything specific, but I'm also just gonna equip our first weapon and a torch, and we're gonna one-shot this goblin. Now, I think they increased the crit chance for having the torch equipped and burning your enemy. I'm not sure. I think I've critted every single time when it was on a normal Gothic mode, not the Nightmare one. But I think a Nightmare, they still had it like you have a 30% chance or so, or maybe even 20. I think it depends also on the animal or person you're hitting. We're going to continue up here because there are a few items that we need to grab before continuing down to town. First of all, a few herbs. The king sorrel up here that used to be here has been removed. I'm not sure why, but I guess it's because it was such an easy access that anyone can get it. But they still left the purse behind. And then up here, where we need to go for another purse and a couple of goblins, which we will kill to get an elixir of life, has been the same as before. Nothing new added, nothing new removed. Or nothing old removed. So the purse is on top of the little clip. And you're gonna see me saving a lot in this playthrough because it just happens that this nightmare mode is a lot difficult than the normal one. So we got a couple of goblins here. It skipped a bit because I actually died once and I didn't want you guys to see me reloading. I will probably have a few deaths, about 5 or so, just before even entering the city. And this is mostly for the sake of the videos that I'm putting out. If I really want to do a deathless run, I would play this a bit differently. Alright, here we go back. And we're going to go towards Xardas' tower again. And start killing the first and second wolf that are near the waterfalls. For those that have been following me so far and subscribed and watching my videos, I thank you for your support. I think the last video that I made was about the remake, and it was quite a success, at least in my eyes. It's gathering about almost 2,000 views now, and if you guys are hyped for the remake, write it in the comments as well. The remake, of course, is for the first game, not the second. Maybe if the first one will be a success, they will start on a second. We haven't gotten any guesses yet because the game is still very glitched and needs a lot of work through. But we're hoping for the best, and hope Alchemia Interactive can deliver. Here we are with our first wolf, and we just killed. As you can see, you can easily avoid. As soon as it attacks, you have to step backwards and it will not damage you. Because these wolves can one-shot you at this point. But they're very predictable, so they're also easier to kill. For example, goblins on full scale, not the young ones. They can be quite unpredictable and quite fast, so you'll have to be careful, especially at the very start when you don't even have 100 HP. Try to avoid them if you can. For young goblins, however, you can kill pretty much all of them if you are an experienced player. They're not that hard, and I believe they have a minimum HP of about 35 to 42. There's also a couple of goblins down here, being 3 of them in total, which we will also dispose of as well. Here's my 5th save of this playthrough, which is quite a lot. I normally don't even save until I reach the city if I play on normal mode, but this requires a bit more. Because it kind of feels like I'm playing the original Gothic 2 Gold. Right, the 3 goblins are dead. Make sure you loot everything and get the chest. And then we'll continue down going to Laris. But not before we get the second pair of goblins in the chest on the right. Sorry, in the cave on the right. We also one-shot one of them and two-shot the second one. Couple of scrolls on the floor. Make sure you get those. Couple of mushrooms as well, which we will be using later for soups to increase our mana and HP. There's gonna be another wolf down here. I got surprised by this one a lot before I started playing Nightmare, and it almost always killed me, but not this time. Since I've gotten through this so many times, then it becomes a lot easier once you go through this progress. Then we're gonna get rid of 2 scavengers before talking to Laris. Now, while we're doing that, it's also important to know that getting as much experience in the beginning of the game on Nightmare is very important, because every time a person accompanies you, you will only get, I believe, let's see how much we get for this scavenger. We get 30 HP, so that means you get only half of the experience if you're traveling with a partner. In this case, Laris or Cavalorn or whoever else is gonna accompany you. Alright, the second scavenger is dead. We can now easily talk to Laris. And Laris, of course, as always, is gonna recommend that we see say that we are bringing Constantino his herbs. We mentioned that to the guard, and he will let us in, but not before we actually go into the city, talk to Laris, and make sure we just get another 500 experience before truly entering the city. Just gathering some herbs again, and now we're on the way back, where we're gonna meet Cavalorn near the campfire that he's settled in. Of course, there's gonna be a couple of Cretans between him and us, especially the Bloodfly that actually killed me once just in this playthrough alone. That's why you might see a cut just here, after I save, obviously. There you go. So the Bloodfly has piercing damage, and piercing damage does a bit more than blundering or slash damage when you don't have any armor. There we go. I think I even forgot to grab the scroll up there, but I'll probably get it later on. Here's another one behind the crates, and I'm gonna go grab one near the goblin. But I'm not gonna fight him because he is too strong. I actually died here once, and I didn't want to do it again. I was just testing him if he would attack me. Alright, here I am just equipping the Loith Ploin. Let me know if I pronounced that right or wrong. But here I'm just teasing him. And we're just gonna grab the scroll and run away. The goblin, as I said, attacks 15% faster. This also applies to a lot of other enemies. I have yet to fight a person this far, but I believe they do not attack 15% faster unless it's a mini boss or a boss. For example, like the bandits or the bodyguard of Dexter. Okay, so we go through Cavalorn's dialogue real fast and make sure you don't grab the last dialogue that is there, which is let's mix it up with those guys. He's gonna give you a wolf knife, which you cannot even equip because you don't have the strength to do it. It requires a lot more than you currently have, and we'll have to train for that. We can grab everything else on the way though, and we're gonna go talk to Jess, but not before we get rid of all our gold, so we get an extra rhetoric point. Here I'm opening all the purses that I've gathered so far. It's not a whole damn lot, but it's over 300 gold. And even 10 gold is enough to not get the rhetoric point. So make sure you get the I've come from the mountains, obviously. Then always choose the second option from there until you get to the last one, I was a convict. So you get another rhetoric point, and then you ask him for Dexter. And you get another rhetoric point right there if you didn't have any gold in your inventory. Really nice. There's also a purse in this stomp, which you can pick up. A lot of purses in stomps. Just make sure when you have your wisp, you always have it equipped, and it will pick the purses and basic items for you automatically. Next step would be to get into this cave. Now, I would save this for later, but I thought I was gonna find an ancient rune tile in here. Unfortunately, I did not. For some reason, I have not yet figured out why they removed it, or they moved it somewhere else for the Nightmare edition of this mod. In the easy mod, it was always there. I even believe in the 3.0 it was still there on Nightmare, but this is 5.0, and if you're wondering why there's now a 5.0 when the 4.0 just came out in November, well, honestly, I cannot answer that because I don't know. Did they implement something so important that it was, I don't know, worthy of improving the number? Could have been. Maybe. We shall see. I have yet to see any new quests. Here I had to run away from the from the mole rat because it already two-shot me and I was left with 5 HP. That would mean that I wouldn't be able to kill it if it hit me one more time. While mole rats are a bit unpredictable. Not so much that they're unpredictable. Their hitbox is kind of weird. And sometimes you can hit them easily and they won't fight back, and sometimes they hit you with all their force and they just gobble you up. I didn't have so much trouble in the remake fighting mole rats, but I did have a lot more problem fighting scavengers. I really like the combat part where you can actually dodge in the remake, whereas here you could dodge if a scavenger was rushing right at you, or a wolf, but not for every animal. That didn't apply for every animal. Alright, we're gonna save here and we're gonna let Cavalorn charge in and kill the 2 bandits. For those that don't know, in the Gothic base, there was no Cavalorn and you had to kill these 2 alone. In Gothic 2 Gold, if you didn't kill them, if you didn't help Cavalorn, he could have died fighting them alone. Which is kind of weird because he has so much HP here that he just takes care of both of them alone very easily. And see, you only get 50 XP from here. So if you can get a few hits here and make sure you get the final blow, you will get the full amount of experience.
Wait a minute.
All right. So you pick up the letter for Vatras, and you can be on your way towards Lobart's farm. Make sure you also pick up all the herbs along the way, including healing herbs, healing roots, and so on and so forth. We're gonna save again because there's gonna be a small bloodfly that could kill us potentially because we only have 5 HP. And even if we were at full HP, it could still kill us in one shot. So it wouldn't matter if I healed up here or not. The bloodfly has a potential to actually dodge. This doesn't apply to a lot of animals in the Gothic 2 New Balance or Gothic 2 Gold in general. Bloodflies have that ability to dodge when you attack them. But hey, they had to add something new in the remake as well. We haven't seen bloodflies so far though. We talked to Maleth, we said that we got attacked by the bandits, and then that we got rid of the bandits. And while you do that, you can go also talk back to Jess, which we say that the farmers have appointed you to check out if there's any more bandits, and Jess will go back to the cave where we saw Brago. Next up, of course, the turnips, the traditional turnip picking. It's a good thing that they included the insta pick, which if you don't know yet, you can press V for everything you see on the floor, including open chests, and it will just automatically loot everything that you see or focus on at that point. And it's a bit faster. It breaks immersion a little bit, but for the amount of stuff you see in this mod, it's kind of necessary. Otherwise, you can just be playing half the time picking up stuff. Here you find also falks, which in the shed you can find falks, which require 40 dexterity, but they're not bad as a first two-hander weapon for dexterity-based people, characters. Then we talk to Lobart, and we talk also to Kantar. We need to buy the frying pan from Kantar to give it to Hilda. Lobart will also require for him to get him his turnips. Then we have Vino, which will ask us for a bottle of wine. And we need to also deliver the turnips to Hilda herself. There's a lot of goodies inside the house. Make sure you pick up everything. Also, there's a few secret tips. So if you have these random items, such as a brush, a broom, a hoe, you get 50 experience every time. Sorry, for the first time that you use it. So for every item such as those, and you get also a title. Even though those titles don't mean anything, you're just gathering titles at that point. In the end, you can have like something like 100 titles or so. There we go. And now make sure you pick up everything from behind her, because while she's still turned towards the stove, you can pick up everything that you see without getting caught. Like that. And if you want to do it again, just go back and retry. You can also save before doing it so they don't catch you doing it. Alright. Now we're gonna go towards Greg, the pirate. And he's gonna ask us for Lobart's clothing, of course. But we still have to pick up the clothing. The clothing from farmers are not even that good. I think it gives you 5 protection from slashing damage, and that's about it. It's basically the same as the Brotherhood loincloth. But at least it looks kind of better, right? So Greg will ask us how we can help him. And we give him the farmer clothing, and he will be on his way to town. But not before he gets rid of one of the bloodflies. So with our 5 HP, we continue our effort and we go to town. And since we still don't have an ancient rune tile, we cannot activate the teleporter stone. And also, we cannot use the scroll of transformation into a wolf, which would make this a lot easier, because we only do have 3 mana at this point, and we do need 10. So we'll traverse to Laris at the port the old-fashioned way, just by walking. A couple of herbs here which you can pick up, and then you can go up and pick up the rest of the herbs and mushrooms. And then make sure you try to jump between these pillars so you don't fall down directly onto the mole rats. I think there's also 2 spiders down here that you do not want to interact with because they're way too strong. So just jump back down as soon as you can. There's gonna be wolves on the other side of this ledge. So make sure you stick to the cliff or stick to the wall in this case. And there's an easy way of getting down here just by jumping and not hurting yourself. And then just keep running, go under the bridge.
Come here, you filthy beast.
And just keep on running. Even though there's a wolf after us, he won't be able to reach us because the focus is on the guards and the guards will kill him. There's also going to be a bloodfly and some rats here on the right, which we will ignore completely for the time being. And a mole rat again. Just make sure you keep running. And once we reach the end of the wall, we can climb up that wall. Now, if you played the Gothic 2 base or the Gothic 2 Gold, you would know that this wall was actually entrenched into a cliff. So you'd have to go up to the lighthouse and then come back down towards this cliff. There was no other possible way. I just grabbed the hammer for no reason because I always like grabbing that hammer. And there's gonna be even a sword here. An old training sword, which is very good for beginners. I think it requires 20 strength and it gives you 40 damage or something like that, but it's a two-handed weapon. It's not bad. Definitely not bad. Okay, we're also gonna talk to Jack, the pirate. Or Calevra, I think is his name. His other name, the pirate name. But I like Jack. He's gotten his way into Khorinis and he is one of a kind person. How so? Well, he just wants to live out the rest of his life in a lighthouse. That's it. So this is what I was talking about. You get about 700 XP just by getting to Laris first. 500 and plus 1 dexterity if you avoid the guards at the entrance completely. And of course you can go right back. Here we have Carl. We can jump up on his roof and then jump up on this passageway. I'm also gonna grab a healing potion that's at the end of the wall. And I think there's a couple of more goodies if you keep going along that wall. Even a sword, I believe, which is right about here. A militia sword. And there also used to be a one of the purses was there, but they removed it. Now to jump down here can be a little tricky for those that haven't played this before. Where you want to land is on the base of the tower. So you slide down a bit and you don't get damage. And then we can go talk to the guard and tell him that we have the herbs for Constantino. And another rhetoric point emerges right there. So we have 10 in total now. Okay, we talked to Lothar. People think that he's actually annoying. I think he's just doing his job. And then the first person you want to talk to next is Rupert, which will help you get into the upper quarter. Because he will appoint you to one of the guards named Pablo. Make sure you also grab everything in Vatras' house while he's still outside. Pretty easy cleaning and, well, quite a few loots and even an open chest here. Make sure the guards don't see you through the window because they will start attacking you. Read the book stand. If you've already read one of the same ones, you will get nothing. And here's Pablo. He just moved here.
And so,
Wait a minute.
set himself
And then you say that Rupert sent you,
in order to reconcile their
and he will tell you to get some clothing, and then when you get the clothing, such as citizen clothing, then he will tell you what to do next. But you can also start getting the quests from the harbor area without having any clothing. We're going to talk to Vatras, and you will try to say that you want to join the water mages, you want to join the ring of water. Make sure you go through almost every single dialogue. You will also get the Will of the Wisp amulet here. You can even talk to him about the gods, which there's 3 of them, and for each god that he explains what they're about, you get 100 experience. At the end, he will ask you to give a ornament to Laris, and that's where our video will end. Our journey will continue with the quests within the city and a few of outside of it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video with me, and as always, stay tuned for more. I'll see you in the next one.
Wait.